Howdy, folks. I'm Ted, the Tuesday Turnip.
I'm Amber.
And here's some more turnips. All the turnips. We'll see what we can turn up today in Reddit. Alright, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for getting my sister-in-law arrested on her wedding day? Throw away. I'm a 24-year-old female, and my husband is a 24-year-old male, and we have 3 dogs, 2 corgis and a Pomeranian. I rescued them from a puppy mill that was shut down about 6 months ago. They were all in horrible condition and had numerous medical issues. They are very friendly dogs and have adjusted to their new lives extremely well. Well, my now sister-in-law, Amy, has met them a few times before the events occurred. Amy said that she wanted them to be her ring bearers and flower girls for her wedding. Amy and I don't get along at all, and she has said numerous hurtful and cruel things about me to my family and really anybody that will listen. I am not even invited to the wedding as I would ruin the vibe. I told her that she would not be using my dogs for her wedding for multiple reasons, including me not being invited, and they were all scheduled to have surgery a few days prior. Well, they were getting all spayed as well as dental work. She wasn't happy about being told no. Now to the event that happened a couple weeks ago. All of my dogs have had their surgery on a Thursday. The wedding was on a Sunday in the evening. My husband and I left the house to go run some errands Sunday morning, and the dogs were home asleep. I got a notification on my phone about a motion at my back door. I checked, and it was Amy opening the door and walking into the house. I started panicking and telling my husband that we needed to leave now and go back to the house. I showed him the video and he agreed. I start calling my brother and demanding for him to get his wife out of my house, and if she leaves with my dogs, I will call the police. He hung up on me. I got home and all of my dogs were gone and their cones were left in their crates. I called the police for theft and breaking and entering. The police arrived and I showed them the video of her getting into our house and leaving with the dogs. I told them where her venue was, and I have seen a copy of the invitation. The police made it to the venue and were able to locate all of my dogs. One had opened her stitches and was bleeding from the wound. My husband rushed her to an emergency vet to get the stitches closed. Amy was arrested in the middle of getting ready for her wedding and has been charged with a Class 1 felony and a few misdemeanors. Now everybody is saying that I ruined her wedding and I overreacted to the entire situation. I am also being told that I need to pay them back for the wedding since it never happened. I am refusing to pay anybody back as well as drop the charges. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, and I think anyone who agrees with them, you're probably best off going no contact with. Because if someone kidnaps your pets and endangers their well-being, I think that's a really good reason to call the police on them.
Yeah, and there were a couple comments where OP apparently had been no contact with her family for quite a while, and only in the last year or so they got back in contact with them. I can't imagine why she went no contact with her family.
Like, it's ridiculous to me that anyone would be like, oh, this is your fault, you're overreacting. Like, they're your pets. First of all, like, you should be able to control whether or not they're used in weddings, but they've just had surgery on top of that, and she took their cones, so, they don't have their, appropriate no scratching guards and whatnot, and it resulted in one of your dogs getting injured, and, like, that's just not cool.
It's clear that she doesn't care about the well-being or safety of the animals.
It's all for show.
Yeah, it's just part of her dog and pony show, so to speak. And it's really unfortunate that she just used them as a prop for her to use, and she didn't take no for an answer. She could have probably borrowed other people's dogs if she was really this dead set on getting a dog. And I don't blame OP for wanting to press charges against her.
Yeah, well, and my guess, based on not inviting OP to the wedding and demanding the dogs, is she probably has a lot of disregard for a lot of people and animals. Like,
yeah.
It's it wasn't cool. Like, who doesn't invite someone to their wedding and is like, oh, but I want your dogs to be at my wedding.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's one of the most entitled things I've heard. And Dog Raptor 8 says, not the jerk. By law, your dogs are your property. She committed theft and deserves to suffer the consequences for her crimes. Really glad your fur babies are okay. And OP replies, that's why she got a felony. In my state, any theft of an animal is an automatic felony. And Happy Drive 1 says, out of interest, how did she manage to break in? And OP replied, the door has a code that unlocks the deadbolt. There's no physical key that unlocks. And OP says, somebody probably told her about the code, and all of my siblings and parents have the code. So, in all likelihood, her brother told
her the code, and it's time to change that code.
Yeah. And Crazy George's daughter says, why do you associate with people who support and allow someone to treat you the way she has? Just not being invited and allowed to the wedding should make you question who you should have figurative and literal access to you and your home. And OP replies, I was no contact with them for 3 years, and we all started talking again last year. I have many regrets about that now. I wonder why. And Savant Guard Dog says, not the jerk. How's the pupper with the open wound doing? And OP replies, she is doing great. She got put on antibiotics for 2 weeks and had to wear her cone of shame for an extra week. She wasn't happy about that. Alright folks, this next very weird letter is titled, am I a jerk for not accepting a free vacation to help out my stepdad? When I was younger, I went on an overseas trip with my mom and stepdad to go see his side of the family. Almost as soon as we landed, they started arguing. I was sent outside. And when I came back in, my mom was acting cagey. She told me that one of my stepdad's cousins was getting married in 2 days, but not to worry about it. She kept saying that and was acting really strange, so I kept pushing until she explained. Yes, the cousin was getting married, but only symbolically. The cousin's family was desperate and needed a cultural wedding to happen for some reason. He'd already agreed to help out, so she couldn't really say no, but not to worry because it didn't mean anything because it was only symbolic, which is when I figured out how he was helping out. So in case folks didn't figure this out, the whole wedding thing was actually a wedding between him and that other person. It doesn't really make it very clear. She reassured me that it didn't mean anything and begged me to just be polite. It was going to be a fun party and a good opportunity to learn more about other cultures. The entire day was a blur, but the food was really good. We went home fairly early. My mom and I spent the rest of the trip as just us, while my stepdad was with his family. But once we got home, everything was completely normal, and we never really talked about any of that again until today. My stepdad called to ask if we, me, my wife, and daughter, would come for a vacation in his home country. He would pay for everything. He was really pushing for it, so I pushed back. And he confessed that along with family time, he also needed me to come along so they could undo the symbolic marriage so that the cousin could get married to her significant other because she currently can't because she's considered to be already married to me. I don't see a reason to. It wasn't a legal wedding in the first place. It literally couldn't have been for several reasons. So there wouldn't have been anything to undo. He said that he was sorry that this happened, but now we can just fix this and never think about it again. I don't really want to go to his country. It's not really safe to go there in the first place, and I don't really like the idea of getting trapped somewhere again where I don't know the language or what's going on. He's telling me that I'm selfish because while it obviously doesn't affect me, not fixing it does affect the cousin and isn't letting her move on. My mom is pleading with me to go, that it's one day out of a vacation that my stepfather is willing to pay for because he feels terrible about it. My wife doesn't think that I should go because it's not safe, and it's something that should not be my problem anyways. I've asked my father, and he's torn. Obviously, I don't have to go, but if it was that easy, well, then maybe a free vacation isn't that bad of an idea, and I would be helping someone. I just don't want to. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. What is wrong with your mom for volunteering you to get married? Like, seems like stepdad kind of pulled this on her and she just went along with it. And, like, stepdad's a huge jerk for that, but your mom is also a jerk for going along with this.
This is so ridiculous. And OP also says that he consulted with lawyers in the comments, and this is not a legal binding marriage. It's not legal binding in that country. It's just literally that the town refuses to accept that she's not married, so it's like a cultural thing. So she's culturally considered married to OP, which should not be something that is even capable of happening. You should not be able to marry children off.
Yeah, it's just so ridiculous, again, that they did this in the first place. And, like, you don't owe this to anyone. Like, it's really a shame that she's stuck in this situation, but that was on her parents and your parents.
You know what I would really be concerned about in this situation? OP going over there to be kidnapped. And them being like, well, you're married to her, so this marriage is the one that you need to be part of, not the one that you have back home. That's just an adulterous relationship that you're in.
Yeah, I have some serious questions about this situation, and I wouldn't necessarily, like, again, I don't know what the countries are or how, like, risky it is, but I do not necessarily, like, I would not go abroad, like, if there was a chance of getting stranded there and not being able to get home.
If these people are willing to marry children off, then they're probably also willing to steal your passport and stop you from leaving any way that they can. So, I mean, I know your dad is saying that they'll just move on, but I would also be very, very worried about their intentions here.
Well, and your stepdad is not a trustworthy person. Like, if he had told you from the outset, hey, want to go on a trip and get married, like, then maybe that would have been one thing. But no, he sprung this on you and your mom secretively. Like, we don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah. So, anyhow, take care and good luck, OP. And someone was basically asking if OP knows if this is a legal marriage or not, and OP replies, I thought that was clear, and I'll make an edit. I did see a lawyer before my wife and I got married, who assured me that America, at the very least, wouldn't recognize it for several reasons. He was willing to do some digging, and from everything that we could find, the other country's government wouldn't recognize it either, but for different reasons. Alright, folks, it is tea time. Turnip tea time. We're having turnip tea today. We're not having turnip tea.
You lied.
Grab your beverages of choice. Hopefully it's a turnip-based tea. And Amber's got a joke for us.
What has a tongue but never talks? Has no...
A shoe.
Yes, you didn't let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the rest of the joke?
It was, what has a tongue but never talks, has no legs but sometimes walks.
Oh, that's clever. A shoe. What's the other? Where's the joke, Amber? That's a riddle. Riddles are not valid tender in our joke arena.
They are too, and I'm running out of the actual joke section because most of this book, there's like tongue twisters and stuff like that, and knock knock jokes. Oh, wait, we can do a knock knock one.
Oh.
Brian's favorite special request. Knock knock.
No one's home.
Knock knock.
A ghost. I'm a ghost.
Knock knock.
Please leave me alone.
Knock knock.
Why? What do you want?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Witch.
I don't want witches. We're not having witches over.
Knock knock.
This is the third time this week that witches have come to our house. I'm tired of it. I don't want to be a newt anymore.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Witch.
Witch who?
Which way to the haunted house?
This is the haunted house. There's ghosts and witches. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Tuesday, spelled T-W-O. Amber, we need a moral, and please make it an anti-knock-knock joke. Knock knock.
What's an anti-knock knock joke? I'm really trying to sort this out.
The opposite of a knock knock joke.
Which would be...
So you already know who's at the door.
Oh.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
No, you already know who's there. Knock knock.
Hi, Brian.
No, the moral's at the door.
Oh, I'm so lost.
Knock knock.
Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get another knock knock joke.
What's that have to do with the stories?
You didn't say it had anything to do with the stories. You just said it had to be an anti-knock-knock joke, and I am so lost about what that is.
When I say knock knock, you say, oh, hi, here's the moral. Oh, hi, moral. Knock, knock.
Oh, hi, moral.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. I meant the literal moral of whatever story you picked.
I don't know because I'm too hung up on the anti-knock joke. I can't even remember the story.
There's stealing people's dogs.
Okay, fine.
And there's getting married outside of wedlock. Knock, knock.
If you do, oh hi moral. If you don't wait, do you want me to just say oh hi or just
Yeah, you say hi.
okay?
Knock, knock.
Oh hi. If you don't want to get arrested at your wedding, don't kidnap people's dogs.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.